Wow. All righty.
There we go. Yay.
Got it.
Okay. So
Do I look crooked?
No.
No. Okay, good. Just
when
checking.
you turn yourself crooked, you look crooked.
Do I look crooked?
There. That's those donuts you ate, Vida.
It is. They
those...
sat too close to the other thing.
Okay. So today is, I almost said July. Today is August 11th, 2021. We are joined by, well, first of all, I am Margaret Major, a registered counseling therapist here at the After Trauma Empowerment Network. And I am joined with Vida Woodworth, and she's co-chair of our board of directors and co-host of the show. And Kate Matthews is also with us, and she is our technical director, and she kind of keeps monitoring things for us while Vida and I are chatting. And we have Emmett Jolly joining us in a little bit. Emmett did an awesome sociology project for an MSCC course that he's in, and we just wanted to talk about a little bit of that project because he did such a great job. And we're also going to talk a little bit about gender and sexuality. I'm going to try to draw a genderbread person, and we'll see how that goes. I'm sure we'll have a few laughs. That's okay. Yes. So before I do my check-in, Vida, I'm just going to do our diversity welcome, and then we'll do a check-in with you and see how your week has been. If you get up to any golfing. Okay. So first, I would like to welcome all women, men, transgender, and other identified individuals here today. I'd like to welcome everyone here who is a mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, cousin, son, daughter, grandmother, or grandfather. Welcome. I welcome people of all races, tribes, and descents. I welcome your bodies, your minds, and your energy. I welcome survivors and those who support them. I welcome all people single, married, partnered, celibate, dating, or involved in whatever sort of relationship is right for you. I welcome gay, lesbian, bisexual, heterosexual, two-spirited, queer, asexual, and others for whom none of the current labels fit. I welcome your emotions, your joy, your bliss, your sadness, your rage, your frustration, your contentment. Welcome. I welcome everyone's special way of understanding and knowing the world, whether it is wisdom that has been learned in colleges, universities, and/or the deep and profound school of life. I welcome those living with chronic medical conditions and disabilities, visible and invisible. I welcome your families, genetic and otherwise, our networks of family and friends who make our lives happier, gentler, and easier to be in. I welcome mystics, seekers, and believers of all kinds. I welcome those who identify as activists, community leaders, musicians, artists, and those who don't. And finally, I'd like to welcome the ancestors who lived on this land where we are now. Welcome the spirits of Mi'kmaq, the natives who lived in this area before the Europeans came. I'd like to acknowledge them and invite their spirits to this space. Everyone, welcome. And thank you so much for being here. Yes. So with that, welcome, Vida. Welcome to you. And how are you doing today? How has your past week been? And do you have any big news or anything?
Let me think. It's been a good week. I can't think of anything wildly exciting. I did manage to golf at least once. And even though I haven't golfed a lot this summer, I signed up for our club championship this coming weekend. And it's just really a chance for me to go and have some laughs and see some people I haven't seen for a while. For others, I'm sure it's a chance for them to see how well they can golf and maybe win a prize or two. But no, it's always fun to support the club and get out and do that. So I'm looking forward to doing that. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to our guest this evening and hearing more about the project that he did. And yeah, so the Olympics are over. Yeah. And so I'm kind of in withdrawal. But, it was a good year despite all the barriers with COVID and a lot of the things that happened sort of to delay them for a year and so on. And also many of the most of the competitions happened with very few, if any, fans or people watching. So it was probably a very different experience for many of the athletes, but there were a lot of personal bests and a few world records. And Canada won the most medals it's ever won in a non-boycotted Olympics. The last Olympics, when they were held in, I think it was Los Angeles, and they were boycotted that year by a few countries. That so they always put a little asterisk beside the results from any boycotted competition, just to let people know that maybe not all of the countries were there, and it may have made a different result if they were. So yeah. So other than that, I can't think of anything too exciting to tell you about this week. So that's probably a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Yeah.
What about you? How was your week?
Well, my week has been extremely busy. Monday felt like a whole week in one day. Like it was that kind of, busy.
Yeah.
And yesterday we had a very important meeting, which hopefully will produce very positive results, we'll say.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see on that one. And we'll certainly, keep people updated on what we're doing here. Hopefully this weekend, if the universe allows, I'll be heading to Cape Breton for a couple of days just to get some of that good ocean salt air into my lungs. Yes, that would be wonderful. A little bit of a break.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to after our show tonight, and we may actually end early tonight so we can do this. Just a few feet that way, on the river, across from where the old residential school used to be here in Shubenacadie. On Sunday evenings and Wednesday evenings now, they have educational sessions where they invite a guest speaker to come in and just talk about something involving Mi'kmaq culture or Indigenous cultures and practices. And tonight they're having, I can't remember her name, but she's a dancer, and she's going to talk about how dancing evolved. And we just really want to be there to be a part of that. And and who knows, maybe that person will be interested in coming on and sharing with us whatever we miss. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to heading over to there after our show and checking out and learning. Learning is important.
Yes, always learning.
Absolutely. I'm a lifelong learner. I'm committed to learning. Like today, I mentioned this to you before the show. So a term that I learned that I had to talk to Vida about was and Vida, perhaps you can provide a little bit more of the background on this because it's a new term to me. And in regards to talking about human sexuality and sexual orientation, I had someone introduce me to the term ACDC, and I didn't know what that meant. So I had to get educated about what ACDC meant. And from what I've learned, it is a term from the 60s referring to someone who is considered bisexual, or as the definition that Kate read, swings both ways.
Yeah.
And you also added some stuff to that term too, but that's one of my learnings for today is ACDC. Yeah.
And I mean, it's because I am just that little bit older than you and a lot older than Kate. It was a term that when I was a young person in growing up, I had heard, and it's like a lot of slang terms. They get thrown around and used, and in a lot of cases, you don't really know what it means other than you hear everybody else saying it, and so you think, oh well, I should say it too, and I think it's a good example of what happens when we hear sort of more slang terms or terms that sometimes didn't come out of a fondness or a liking for something, but more of a wanting to put something down, or maybe not just understanding it as well as one should.
Yeah.
And so, ACDC is one that was used as a slang word for people who would identify their sexual orientation as bisexual. And even up until recently, you see people who still aren't really accepting of the fact that being bisexual is a sexual orientation. And it is. A lot of times people think, oh, well, it's something that when you're exploring or questioning your sexual orientation, you may think you are attracted to both genders, and now we're also exploring the whole idea that gender isn't just one or the other. It's not just a male and female gender anymore, that there's a whole spectrum in between. So, there's a lot of outdated thinking, I guess, that goes into a lot of this, but people who are bisexual talk about being open or attracted to people not because of gender. So gender isn't a factor for them. It's more about, their personality, how they connect with them. It may be, that they enjoy doing some of the same things. They like the color of their eyes. They find that they were a kind person, or, any of those things. So for them, they become attracted in because of that, not because this person is a woman or a man or identifies as either of those. And so for them, relationships are possible with someone who is either identifying their gender as male or identifying gender as female. And I now know, I think there are probably more terms evolving to describe someone who is attracted to maybe the more stereotypical male-female genders, but also some of that non-binary stuff in between. So maybe a person, and because we talk about this guy a lot with some of the young women, Harry Styles comes to my mind. He's I'm not sure, I don't know enough about him yet, and I need to read up more, but I know that he often will dress in clothing that in the old way of thinking would appear to be more feminine in appearance, but he also his body and appearance still in the old stereotype would be more masculine. And I don't think, he necessarily identifies as any of the male or female. I don't know if he refers to himself as non-binary or any other term. So for someone who is attracted to any of the gender possibilities, I think there probably is another term other than bisexual, because that would mean there's more than two. There could be many.
I think it's
pansexual. Yeah, I was trying to think it was either poly or pan, and I couldn't remember which one it was. So, yeah. Anyway, ACDC is one of those older terms, and you may hear people use it, and it maybe isn't offensive in the context they're using it and with the group they're using it with. Or you may hear it used as more of a negative dismissive kind of term.
Yeah,
and
insulting.
Queer is the other one that you'll hear a lot of younger people are trying to, or are reclaiming the word queer as an umbrella term for any of the sexual orientations and also gender identities that fall under a big umbrella of queerness. And but for someone my age or older, queer is a negative term that was used to talk about not just gay people, but anybody that was really different, often people with mental illness. And we have to remember that back in those times too, being gay was considered a mental illness. So, if somebody's calling you queer, it wasn't a term of endearment, or it wasn't something to show you were accepting. It was usually to put you down or make you feel bad. Yeah. But now we are hearing people trying to find a way to change the meaning of that term and use it as an umbrella term rather than using the LGBTQI and all plus, and all the and that's pluses, and so it's just kind of, when they say queer, they mean all of that, and but it's going to take time, I think, for language to get to a place where people understand some of the terms that are important to people.
Well, there was a word that you used in there that I was going to ask if you could elaborate on it a little bit, because I've had a lot of clients in discussions about gender and sexuality talk about binary and non-binary. I'm just wondering if you can just say a little bit more about
that. I'll keep it simple, just because my understanding is pretty simple. Throughout history and throughout the study of the human species and other species, we have identified a male and a female gender, and along with identifying the female and male gender, we also identified specific things that their bodies could do. And males typically were the part of the puzzle to provide half of the genetics needed to produce a new living thing, and the females provided the other half, but they also provided the space for that to grow until it was ready to come into the world. And so we went along quite a long time just assuming that there was always a male and a female, that there was nothing different. So that, I guess, we refer to as the binary. It's set in stone, male, female. Well, in the last decades and so on, and probably before that, there was some questioning of, well, why is it sometimes in different species we don't see just male and female? Sometimes we see in some species that, I think it's seahorses, that they can impregnate themselves and carry the baby. It doesn't matter what gender they are, or maybe there's something different. I remember about that. And there's other times when a mutation or something would occur with the DNA, and so somebody may be born with more male characteristics than female. And years ago, we used to call someone who was, if it was a human person and they were born with extra chromosomes that made them more female than male, or made them more male than female, we would call it hermaphrodite. And now we refer to people who have differences in their chromosomes like that as intersex. Yeah. And it was interesting. I can always get back to the Olympics somehow. There were at least 3 athletes that were talked about during the Olympics who, and all were female, identified as female, but before they were allowed to pick the races, the events that they competed in, because they had in their times and so on seemed to be so much better than the average female athlete at that level. They were tested and they were found to have more testosterone than the average female would have. And so they were made to either drop down. So say they were going to race the 100-meter race, they were told they had to go up to the 200 or the 400 because they had an advantage over another woman who didn't have as much testosterone as they were, even though it was natural for them. They were born that way. Yeah. So anyway, this is a long explanation, but I guess nowadays it isn't just genetically what you have, it's just how you want to present yourself to the world. And you may be born with what we've always called female appearance and body parts, but you may be very comfortable in expressing yourself in a way that isn't seen as female. So, you may wear a man's suit, or a suit that we have always attributed to men. You may dress in that clothing, and the same as a man may decide he wants to wear a dress and high heels to work. And doesn't always want to fit into that rigid thing that we've in our societies that we have given to men and women. And so even things like what men like to do, men staying home as caregivers and women going out and doing, all of those things I think have come into question now, whereas before it was a given. When you were born, if you were a girl, you did this, and if you were a boy, you did that. And there wasn't anything else possible, whether you wanted it to be or not. Yeah. Does that make any sense?
Oh, yes. Yes. And it's not one of the simpler words to define either.
No, it isn't.
No.
It isn't.
No, you can take a whole course just on binary.
Yeah. And I think it's again, for some people, there is a difference. What your sexual orientation has really, it's different than what your gender identity is. So, if a person, I identify as female, if I am attracted to other people who identify as female, then I might refer to myself as lesbian. If I were attracted to other people who identify as female and who identify as male, my sexual orientation might be, or I might refer to myself as bisexual. And now we know with all the different gender identities, probably pansexual would be the term that I might use. And so sometimes people do get confused between gender identity and sexual orientation. So one is who you're attracted to, which is sexual orientation. And the other is how you identify yourself as a person, that gender part, how you identify it.
Yeah. Why don't I try to draw the little gender spread person, and we'll just, so Emmett, hold in there. We're almost to you. I'm gonna try to draw. So this is a genderbread person, as it's called, and this is not my original idea. I've looked at lots of videos on YouTube to educate myself on this. I am not an artist, so please don't judge me. And also, by doing this is just meant to be helpful in our discussion of gender and sexuality. This isn't meant to simplify or to minimize any aspects of the complexities of human sexuality. Like, This is not meant to say, oh, it's just that simple, because it's not.
No,
No.
no.
Okay, so, oh my, this is, look at this poor person's head. Okay, so let's get some arms on here. That's not too bad. Okay. So this is our genderbread person wearing bell bottoms. Okay.
It looks a
So-
lot like gingerbread men I've made in the past, or gingerbread people, persons, folks.
Yes, yes. I guess I shouldn't be gender specific with this particular body. This body. So here we have biological sex. So this is the sex or organs or chromosomes that you are born with. This is not something that you choose. This is, you are born with a penis, a vagina, or both. And as Vida mentioned earlier, that someone who's born with both sex chromosomes is referred to as intersex. And I believe, I forget the percentage that I read of the population who are intersex, and that can vary on a spectrum as well.
Yes.
So
And,
that,
there's 130 different variations of chromosomes that they've identified
wow.
that are not what we normally think of XX and XY, and so it can be so different for, even if someone's intersex, their difference may be very different from another intersex person. So it's a very, as you said, very complicated.
Yeah, it's very, very complex. And then this is my heart. So this here is sexual orientation, or this is who you are attracted to in a romantic or sexual sense. So if you are attracted to the same sex, you might go with the label gay or lesbian. If you are attracted to somebody, regardless of their gender or their sexual orientation or how they identify, that would be pansexual. There's asexual. Asexual is somebody who sex is not really considered necessarily a priority to them. That doesn't mean that they exclusively don't engage in sex, but it's not a high priority as it is for other people. And that's another thing about sexuality, is sex drive is not something that everybody just has the same of. Sex drive is very individual, just as individual as a person is. Yes. Like this idea that, oh, you're a girl, so this means, or you're a guy, so this means, is BS bullshit. Like, yeah.
I think it's important too that we also make it really clear that engaging in a sexual act or sexual activity with another person of either the same or the opposite gender does not in itself define your sexual orientation. So
right.
I know, and you've probably had a similar experience where people maybe unfortunately were in a forced situation where someone forced them into sexual activity, and perhaps that person was of the same gender. Mm-hmm. And then the person who was forced thinks, oh, I must be gay, or I must, be giving off gay vibes because this person was attracted to me. And the actual act itself does not define your sexual orientation. And, sometimes people do, as they say, they experiment or they question. And so, but it's you who gets to define that. And you also get to decide what you want to call it. Yeah. And maybe not all of the terms that we're talking about tonight are what you want to call yourself.
Right.
So,
Right. And it's nobody's business. either.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Nobody's business at all. That's your power, who you choose to share what information with. That is your
Yes.
power.
Yeah.
So up here we have gender. So this is, and this is not my term. I can't remember who I guess originally coined this term, but gender is the felt sense of who you are. Just because you were born with a penis does not mean that you have a felt sense of masculinity or being a man. Gender is that, and all I can say is felt sense, because I mean, I've heard people say to me that I feel like I was born in the wrong body.
Yeah.
And it's, and I think some of the old school views, which are still out there in the world today, is you were born with a vagina. That means you are a female. That means you will behave in female ways, the societal approved female ways, and you will likely have children. That is your role. And you will be with a man. And those are some of the old school ideas about, you know, you're born this way, this is what this means. And that's, I think, also speaking to the binary stuff that you were talking about too.
Yeah. And gender identity is not something new in the last, like in the 2000s, the millennium, or it's,
No.
if you look throughout history, there are many examples of both men and people who were identified as male or female who fought against that for, you know, again, felt they were born in the wrong body, or sometimes that was the reason. And other times it may have been they realized, you know, especially women who realize men are treated like people and we're treated like things. So I'm going to try and look like a man so that I'll receive better treatment, or I'll have access to more things. So yeah, it's not a new phenomenon. It's, I think, just the science of it is getting better as we understand it better.
Yeah. I'm just drawing my behavior. So this is another person. This is a consenting person. And it's important that we mention consent as well. You as a sexual being, and I mean, our sexuality is an important part of our overall health. We have our physical health, mental health, emotional health, sexual health. Consent, and we've already had lots of conversations in previous shows about consent and how without consent, it's sexual assault. It's just that simple. That is simple. You must have consent before you can engage in any kind of sexual act with another person. And I mean, you can have 5 people a day as long as it's safe and consensual. And again, that's nobody's business what you're doing either. Now this, the other person, that means behavior. So somebody may identify as being, let's say, heterosexual. So they're attracted to the opposite sex. But they engage in, let's say, sexual acts with the same sex, but they don't identify as being gay or lesbian. The behavior does not dictate the sexual orientation of a person. Those are 2 separate things. It can be very separate for people. And again, I just want to say that with this little funky drawing that I've done, I'm not meaning to say that that's all you need to know. We could spend several conversations talking about this. Okay, I'm going to stop screen sharing. Now we need to go on with Emmett. We're going to talk to Emmett. And Emmett is going to also talk about some of what we've been talking about today, because Emmett did this great sociology project that talks about gender and sexuality, and some other heavy stuff that I don't think we're going to go deep into, because we could spend a whole month just talking about some of these other things that he mentions in his project. So let's get Emmett's camera going here and ask to unmute. Okay. And ask to start video. Hey, Emmett. How you doing? Is your volume on?
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
There, that's better. Thank
I guess
you
I'll
so
have
much.
to talk up.
There you go. Thank you so much, Emmett, for taking time out of your day to come and share with us and just spend a little bit of time with us. We appreciate it. So how's your day going today?
I worked all day.
You worked all day. Was it a good
Yep.
day at work?
I worked with little ones. Happy.
Oh, yeah. That would be cute. I'm sure you had lots of laughs. Yeah. So, you did this project. Can you just, I guess, share a little bit about what prompted you or inspired you to do this project on this for sociology? Oh, it's not working. We can't hear you.
Hello?
There we go.
Dang it. I might have to take out my headphones.
You're good now.
That better?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I can barely hear you.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, what inspired you to do this particular project?
We had to choose a topic for like social issues.
Mhm.
And we had to pick a topic textbook that we already, and whatever we make a song, draw pictures with words on it like I did, and or PowerPoints or and then we had to post it on social media.
Okay.
All right.
I should show it because there's lots of I mentioned last week about llamas. Llamas are a big part of this project. So what I should do, I'm going to show some of the slides and then we'll come back and let me get my screen share up here. So is that, you're able to see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Now, can I make it full screen?
Go to view.
View. Normal. No. Slideshow. Okay. A Llama's Guide. Okay.
I love it.
So you did all this artwork, didn't you? All these drawings? Yes. And your volume seems to be in and out.
What about now?
Yeah.
I turned the fan off. So
Okay. Maybe that'll help.
hopefully.
Okay. So these, can you I guess just share a little bit about the flag in the background and what each one of these slides represents or means to you?
So the first one with the little kitty in the corner.
Oh yes.
Max. That's L for the LGBTQ, and then it goes to the next one, which
Okay.
The other one that's the same background. And then the bisexual flag,
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah,
and then the transgender flag.
cool.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
And I have a llama shirt.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
With rainbows and everything.
Yes.
Aw.
you need some llama ears.
Oh, I wish.
I do
I'll be
have a,
on the hunt now for Vida ears.
yes,
For llama ears.
llama ears. I do have a quick question.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a llama and an alpaca?
Llama spit and the alpacas don't.
Ah, okay. Thank you. I needed to know that because I'm on a bit of a quest, perhaps for you, Emmett. So time will tell here.
Okay.
Margaret will keep you updated on my quest. I'll now include llama ears as well, but there was a couple of things I had ideas about. So anyway, sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, you're good. Okay, so continuing on with your slides here.
So the top one with the pink llama,
Yes.
that's queer, the queer
Okay.
flag.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
The one underneath of that with the sideways llama
Yeah.
Yes.
is questioning.
Ah,
Okay.
cool.
And that's the questioning flag?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I found online.
Oh, wow. I didn't know there was a questioning flag.
It
Yeah.
actually has a question mark in the flag.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's another thing I've learned today. I love
Yes.
learning things. Yes.
Yeah.
And yes, then this slide here talks about just notice how there's so many more. Because I've looked on the internet, Emmett, and there are a lot of flags out there. A lot of flags.
It would be a never-ending comic if that was the case.
Yes, yes. Okay, let's see what your next one is. Feminist theory.
I can't explain that.
Well, these are I think like we could spend a whole session just talking about feminist theory. Like it's pretty big. And
Yes.
yeah. And I think you all the rest of your slides, I'm just gonna leave it up for a sec, just in case someone's reading. Functionalism. I think
Oh, that was almost a slip. A slip up, Margaret.
almost got to the C, didn't I?
Yes. Mercy.
Although I'm sure we could coin that word and put it in a dictionary.
Yes, we could. We could get Emmett to do a whole new comic strip.
Oh, there's the kitty.
Oh, I see the kitty cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the little guy that's upside down in my corner.
Oh,
Ah,
yes, I don't know how to go back now.
Just press
Symbolic
the,
interactionism. The way that someone dresses tells you if they're important or not. The female is taught by their mother to be quiet and well behaved. And our society, yeah. Where boys are portrayed to be loud and annoying. Everyone knows the saying, yes, boys will be boys. Oh. I've never
wow.
heard that. Yeah. And that topic there, symbolic interaction.
Yes. Yeah.
Conflict theory. Why am I mispronouncing my words?
I don't know, Margaret.
Hey. Yeah.
Have you published this, Emmett?
it's all over Facebook.
Oh, I could just, I'm just thinking of all the different people that, you know, it could benefit, just hoping that as many people as can see it, because you did such a wonderful job.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And there's Max again. Gotta love math. Oh, look at that. Okay, so let me see. So this kind of relates to that awesome genderbread person I
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to talk about these ones, Emma? Oh, I see a new word that I don't know.
Which one?
Omnisexual.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain that.
Are people who are attracted to multiple genders as well, but are more aware of a potential partner's gender. Oh, okay.
I got help with that one, so.
Okay. Nope, that's all good. Are you familiar with that title?
I've heard it, but honestly, I can't explain it any differently than it is here. Maybe it's something we could, if people are interested, we could try and do a little more research on and
I'll have to, yeah.
Yeah. Do an update.
That's just part of learning.
Yes.
And this slide up here, the transsexual is not to be confused with transgender. That's an important one. That's really important.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Very, very important.
And is there anything that you want to say about that, Emmett, about that slide?
Not really.
Okay.
Maybe trying to learn what the terms mean better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think some people do confuse those two terms.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still an area, unfortunately, that a lot of people are still either struggling with learning about or haven't figured out that they need to learn about it yet. So yeah, it's evolving, and I guess as we learn more, it'll maybe make it a little easier for everyone to understand the differences.
Yeah. Okay, let me move on here. Sexuality, heterosexual, sexism is a belief that one sex is superior to another. That's important. And homophobia. You touched on everything here. Like you did a fabulous job, like just highlighting all of those important key words. Yeah. Really cool transitions.
I know, I was just looking at that.
Intersex, yes. Gender, and we talked about that, and gender roles and gender identity. Now, Emmett, if there's anything that you want to say, please feel free to say anything.
I had a lot of fun making the comic. It took over.
Did you learn anything new when you were doing the research to make your comic?
Well, the different theories is what we were supposed to be learning. Yeah. But I knew everything else from before except for that Omnisexual.
Yes,
one.
Yes.
That was the only one that I didn't know.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah. You'll have to now, you can be looking at being the teacher. Did you have to present this to your class?
No, but everyone saw it because I have them all on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Good.
Big fascination with llamas.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Okay, where's my thingy? There we go. Okay.
There you are.
There we go. Okay. So I have a random question, and I'm sure Vida can find a random question to ask you. No pressure. If you could have dinner or lunch with anybody, anywhere in the world, who would it be and where would it be?
Jonathan Young in Europe.
Okay, that didn't take you long, Emmett.
No.
Snap,
That
snap.
yeah, very quick.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
If you, Emmett, could play any musical instrument, what one would you want to play?
God. I don't like instruments.
Oh,
I like listening to music, but I don't like.
You don't like playing them.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I thought maybe would you like to be the lead singer instead?
No.
No?
I don't.
Okay. You could be the technician like Kate, behind the scenes listening, making sure it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I think it's 6:52. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, we were going to wrap up early. So I think we'll do the loving kindness meditation and then we'll call it a day. And you can go enjoy your evening off from a hard day of work, Emmett.
Oh, how many Maxes were in there?
Oh, there was a test? Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh. 5? Was there?
Mhm.
I got it right? Yay!
Aha. I was going to say 3, so I missed 2.
What did Kate just say?
She said she saw 1.
Oh, okay.
Do we count the real Max that you were holding?
That would be 6.
Well, I mean, you
then.
can. You can,
okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
He's
it
being
the
a grumpy boy right now.
Oh, is he? He doesn't understand why your comic isn't about cats and with just a couple of llamas thrown in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have done it that way instead.
I think
Love
it's
your
perfect the way it is.
Yes. And I hope you got top marks for it.
Oh, I did.
Good. You earned it. Yes. And again, Emmett, thank you so much for coming on and spending some time with us and letting us share that. And thanks for showing us Max.
Yeah.
Good therapy there.
Nice to meet you, Max and Emmett. And also, I want to wish you a happy Pride Festival, since we're in the middle of Pride Festival here in the Halifax area. Some of the events have sort of started, but it goes, I think, until the 22nd.
Yep.
And so anyway, hopefully you'll get out and enjoy something exciting.
Yeah. Take really good care of yourself, Emmett. Okay. Okay, so for the next minute or so, actually it'll probably be about 2 minutes, we can just put all our stress, all our to-dos, all our worries up on the shelf just for the next 2 minutes. And then you can take them back down when we're done and continue on with your day. So just allow yourself to be in this space, hearing the sounds in the room around you. You don't need to control your breathing in any way. Just allow your breathing to be natural. You may notice that your breathing may start to slow down. And begin to feel any tension you might be holding in your body. Begin to feel that tension start to drain away from you. Feel any tension drain away from around your eyes, your face, through your neck, your shoulders, and down your arms. Feel any tension drain like a liquid down through your body and out through your toes. Now begin to feel your body fill up with love. Imagine a loving white light entering your feet, traveling up through your body, up to your stomach, your chest and arms. Feel it almost bursting through your heart, your fingers, through the crown of your head. When you feel embraced in that love, silently repeat the following words to yourself. May I be free from all harm. May I be safe and protected. May I be free from all suffering. May I be happy. May I be free from all disease and physical pain. May I be healthy and strong. And may I be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Now turn your thoughts to this vast world, this huge earth with all its living creatures. Continue to feel that love bursting through your body as you silently say, may all beings be free from all harm. May all beings be safe and protected. May all beings be free from all suffering. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from all disease and physical pain. May all beings be healthy and strong. And may all beings be able to live in this world happily, peacefully, joyfully, and with ease. Send your love as far out around the world as possible. Just imagine that energy traveling through the air. Continue to feel that love centered around your heart. Notice the weight of your feet on the floor, feeling yourself in this present moment, in the now. Carry this feeling with you through the rest of your day. And when you are ready, you may slowly open your eyes. Oh, we almost had a ray of sunshine coming through that window. We almost do, Vida.
I think we do. I see a little patch of blue as well.
Yeah. Well, I meant the timing thing with the meditation and
Oh,
how over at our little place that we are, our
yes,
other
that's
office,
right.
You would always have that glorious ray of light come through.
Yes.
It was like
Yes.
Hollywood can't even do this.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and tonight is it the Perseids or the Leonids? Perseids.
Okay. Thank you,
Yes.
Kate. Thank you, Kate. And we did get a little snippet of Kate on camera.
Oh, did we? I
when
missed
she
it.
when she put her coffee cup in the garbage.
Ah.
I saw her. Okay, so that concludes today. I do want to say a thank you to the Mental Health Foundation of Nova Scotia for their
Yes.
financial support and just their support for this project. It means a great deal to us. And
yeah,
I usually say that at the first of the program, and I didn't. So I want to make sure that we express our gratitude to that because we're very grateful. And I also want to thank Emmett again and Max for joining us, and for our viewers who joined us. Thank you. And, we look forward to. Awesome. Bye-bye, Max. Oh, thank you, Emmett. Awesome. Oh. So take really good care of yourself and each other. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you. Actually, next week, we're not doing Wednesday. We're doing Thursday evening at 6. There's some stuff going on Wednesday, and it would just make more sense for us to do it on Thursday at 6. So that's what the plan is. Yes. Okay. So yes, take good care, and we will see you next week. And thank you for being here. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.